Okay guys, so let's talk about this crystal right here. This is called Labradorite. And Labradorite for me symbolizes fearlessness, taking action, and momentum. And this crystal is actually featured in our candle called Enlightened Path, which symbolizes all of that. That's why you can use it for meditation and use the affirmation along with it. The affirmation that I associate with Labradorite is, I am rewarded for taking action and living my life fearlessly. This is such a powerful one, guys. So let's unpack this. Let's talk about Labradorite. Let's talk about fearlessness and momentum as well. Positive momentum, negative momentum. It works both ways, you know. There's vice versa with momentum. Momentum's really powerful because one decision can catapult you, change the whole trajectory of your life, and really create the circumstance in which you have now, right? Like if you think about your whole life, right? One decision could have changed everything. I know for me, if I didn't decide, you know, when I was 17 years old to hang out with my sister, which, you know, my sister and I, we didn't really get along a lot. And, you know, to hang out with her that day, and then she would introduce me to my now husband, you know? So it's really interesting, like how, like one decision or just taking action or, you know, making that first step in the right direction, or just putting yourself out there, or just not overthinking so much, you know, like for me, like that example of just hanging out with my sister. We didn't get along growing up, so, you know, it was strange. It was a strange situation to be hanging out with her and have her introduce me to her friends, which one of her friends was my now husband. And, you know, if I didn't just go along with that, you know, then maybe I would have met him, you know, and I could have just said, nah, I'm just going to argue with my sister as I always do, and I'm not going to get along with her, and why do I want to meet her stupid friends? Her friends are probably just as mean as her, because, like, you know, at the time, like, this was you know, when I was 17, you know, at the time, that's how it was, you know, for me at least, like, my relationship with my sister. But instead, I just, you know, kind of, like, just went with it, you know, like, let's just hang out, let's try and get along, you know. You're putting an olive branch, you know, extending an olive branch, I'm going to take that, you know. And sometimes you have to, like, open yourself up to the world so the world can now change for you, you know. And I feel like taking action, you know, like people say, like 90% of success is like showing up, you know, like you have to just show up, take action, and have that positive momentum. Just, you know, every day, if you could just have every single day just be a little bit better, or add something, you know, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself with like these new goals. But if you just, you know, tweak it a little bit, you know, by the end of the year, you're going to have a lot of progress and a lot of positive momentum. So, you know, being fearful can be paralyzing, debilitating, causing a lot of stagnant energy. And that's really that's like the worst, right? To just feel like you have no progress, you know. Like Tony Robbins says, the key to happiness is progress. Feeling like you're always getting better, you know, and you're always improving, you're always evolving. And that is really addictive, you know. It's really addictive to just look back on your life, look years, you know, like ago, and just think, man, I've grown so much. I've become such a much better person, like, you know, all these things. So how do you create more positive momentum? You just start. You literally just start. And I know, let me know in the comments what's one thing today that you know that you can do, like even if it's just today, right? And just take it one day at a time, you know? Because a lot of us were just like, well, I can do it today, but I know I'm not gonna be able to keep up with it because it just doesn't work with my schedule and it's too hard for me. Just do it. Take it one day at a time, right? Like exercising, for instance, you know, you say, well, I can't work out like 3 times a week. it's too high maintenance, like it's too much for me. But like, can you do it today? Do you have an hour right now to go work out? Do you have 30 minutes? Do you have 15 minutes? Like, take it one day at a time. Be more present. Don't overthink into the future so much or relive the past, trying to, change what you cannot change. You can't go back in time, So like, positive momentum, looking right in front of you, what's right in front of you, and just trying to make each day the best, and looking at each day like it's one lifetime. Well, this lifetime I did this at 12, I did this at 2, 4 o'clock, I did this, tomorrow, do you want to have the same lifetime, or do you want to change the lifetime? Look at the day as the lifetime, because like, a lot of us, we really underestimate what we can do in one day, but then we overestimate what we can do in like 10 years, right? But actually it ends up being the other way around, like we'll waste our whole day and think like, oh no, I have time, it's 10 years, and then 10 years just flies by, So like, think about in terms of days, think about it in short terms, like the now, because I feel like that's so powerful, at least for me, it's really powerful when I take the initiative and I act upon my goals almost immediately, or, I don't put them on the back burner is what I'm saying, because then something else is going to pop up, and you want to have like a million open tabs in your mind, like, oh, I have to do that, I have to do that. No, you don't. You don't want to have a whole bunch of open tabs in your mind. You want to have an open tab and close it out and then move on to the next thing. So like, you really want to focus on like, how can I maximize myself today and be the ideal version of myself today, and really be the best version of myself today. Everything considered, and all my circumstances, right? And all, the short end of the stick, like all our, victimhood mentality. Like you gotta like really think about it as, okay, this is what I'm presented with. These are the cards that I've been dealt. What can I do now? A lot of us, we think so far ahead, like, well, when I have this, then I'll do it. When the timing's perfect, then I'll do it. The timing is never going to be right. Let momentum be on your side, because you'll be surprised. The first step is like hard, and then the second step, and then as soon as you have like that conditioning with yourself and you start to get that familiarity, and you identify yourself with that, like there's a goal maybe that you want to do, right? Like affirmations. I want to say one affirmation every day for the rest of my life. Okay, maybe the first day you say it, it's like really silly, and the first week, like you forget to say them, and you just forget, and you're just like, this is not worth my time, right? But then maybe you just wake up every day and you say them. Like for me, it's automatic, it becomes part of you. You identify with it. So like any goals that you have, it's gonna be, in the beginning, it's gonna be like more of a tough start, but even that's a limiting belief too, because it doesn't necessarily have to be hard, that's just something that like we tell ourselves. But but it is true that the more you do something, the better you're gonna get at it, the more practice you're gonna have, the more familiar you're gonna be with it. So like something like exercising, like even if you think about the things that you've done as a child, it's probably so easy to do, right? If you make your bed when you were a child, now you're going to make your bed as an adult. If you always cleaned up after yourself when you were a child, it's easier to do as an adult, So think about things like that. Think about like one day at a time, but also, you're going to reap the benefits in the long run, because 30 days of doing something new and rewiring your brain and just having that new connection, that wiring together and just like firing together and just making it happen for yourself. Now you're gonna reshape and shift your reality. So yeah, so let me know in the comments any thoughts and comments, of course, and what's the hardest thing right now for you? Like, what are you fearful of? What's causing the stagnant energy? And maybe we can talk about it together to figure out like solutions for you. And also, please don't forget to follow us on LifeStone USA, which is our Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much, and peace and gratitude.